Appalachian Mountains, yes. But elsewhere, plenty of rain, maybe a chance of thunderstorms in parts of the south, as well as going down towards central Florida. And what about here? Wild, it looks like as though that you might end up still getting some chance of showers after all, snow showers after all. And finally, by Friday night, there will be a folding trough just over Colorado, all the way down to Baja California, that peninsula part in Mexico. And it looks like a folding trough just miles north of Minnesota. And there's going to be a ridge offshore from California and an upper level high, which is a ridge just located over the Bahamas. What does this mean? It means there's still going to be some strong to severe weather in the southern part of the United States, but yet there could be some chance of some depressing weather, like some showers. But otherwise, there could be some snow showers in New England and the interior parts of the Northeast, all the way down towards the Smoky Mountains, if cold weather is there. But so far, it can only be limited to, like, let's say, West Virginia. Alright, and now let's take a look in terms of like, let's say, the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, so this is what we got. I mean, there's plenty of cold air to go around, but then you have this warm air. Well, the difference is that what you guys are seeing is that these are just anomalies of the geopotential height. Like, as in, like, there's, like, an average, how much above or below average is the geopotential height. In other words, it's similar to, like, let's say, red is warm, but blue is cold in some way. Although not exactly, but still. Anyway, this is right now. Then we move to, let's say, 24 hours. Then we get less cold air, but yet some warm storms could move in. Then in this right here is Siberia, right here, and if anything happens in Siberia, this could be us, depending on where and how intense it'll be, the storm. So for Thursday night, though, plenty of cold air in northern New England, plenty of warmth in eastern Russia, and parts of Alaska. Well, so far I'm not seeing much that is happening. Although the cold air is still trapped in Siberia, then we have to deal with some storms in the south, but maybe some warmth and mild temperatures in the west coast. Still plenty of winter-like weather throughout much of the U.S. Saturday night, similar setup, but then the mild temperatures expand. Yeah, maybe some cold snap on near Alaska could make its way into the U.S. By early next week. So, Sunday night. Not much is going to move, though. But yet, there could be, there's going to be below average temperatures throughout much of the northeastern quadrant of the United States, though. But much of the west is looking mild. Next Monday, all that warmth somewhat expands, but eventually you do have this setup for some winter weather that could make its way into the west coast in a matter of days after next Monday, though. Next Tuesday, this right here could indicate that there could be some snowy weather, some bad winter weather that could happen, but it's not quite intense, though. It's only going to be limited in the Alaskan coastline. Alright, and now let's take a look at the drought monitor. But since this is December, I'm like, what's the point in talking about full foliage, right? I mean, sure, it's still fall, astronomical fall that is, but meteorological winter has begun since yesterday. So this is what the drought monitor looks like. There's still plenty of drought in Maine and southeastern part of the U.S., like Georgia, Alabama, and parts of Florida, South Texas, parts of the deserts, well, much of the continental divide, as you can see. Much of California is looking drought-free, as well as North Dakota, Kentucky, much of Tennessee, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Alright, and now we go here. Well, in case if you haven't seen the radar in your area, this is what it looks like. I mean, I don't know if, what's going on in your area, but it does look like as though that you still have plenty of snow to deal with. Yep, you got plenty of snow wild, and it's coming from the west, though, not coming from the Great Lakes, like Lake Superior, for example. But let me just zoom out. Let me go back here. Okay, so this is for... oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so this is for right now, and we're going to go into 24 hours from now. So wild, it'll be 14 degrees Fahrenheit, which translates to negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit for tomorrow morning. For folks in the U.S., plenty of below freezing temperatures throughout much of the country, but though there's plenty of warmth to go around throughout places like the Outer Banks, it's only mild all the way towards Houston and Dallas and San Antonio. But plenty of warmth in South Florida. And mild temperatures still around throughout places like the southern parts of New Mexico and Arizona, much of California, and along the west coast. Otherwise, if you're going to move just about a few miles inland, well, you're about to be below freezing, but there's a little bit of above freezing temperatures in parts of the center part of the country. Okay, let me mute the mic. Hold on. Never mind. So anyway, we go into tomorrow night. Oh, I skipped about an hour. While your high for the temperature, you know what? I might as well just go back up. Yeah, while it looks like as though that you won't have any highs for tomorrow because they're about to go down. But all I can say is that by 7 p.m. your temperature reading will be at 3 degrees Fahrenheit, or in other words, it'll be right around like somewhere below at negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius, which is pretty cold. And for folks in the northern plains like the Dakotas and Minnesota, they'll have temperatures that are going to be in the single digits to below sub-zero temperatures in Fahrenheit. Below freezing temperatures will occur, like let's say much of the New York City area, but only in the interior parts of Long Island and much of New Jersey. But on the coastal parts of Long Island and the Jersey Shore, they're going to be above freezing, as well as for folks anywhere along the waters. But, however, after Cape Cod, temperatures will be below freezing, even for folks right along the coast. Plenty of warmth that's going to occur throughout places like the South. And a lot of warmth is going to be moving into into Texas and Florida. And all that warmth, well, it's going to be in parts of the desert Southwest and the West Coast. Alright, so now let's move on to another 12 hours. Oof, wow, looks like your low would be at negative 2 degrees Fahrenheit, or what I would say is, let me see. Like a little more than negative 20 degrees Celsius in your area, but not like below that. For folks in the upper Mississippi Valley and the northern plains, it's very, very brutal. Wow. And especially those high up in the Colorado Mountains and the Colorado Rockies, parts of the Colorado Rockies, and east of Salt Lake City. Otherwise, so much of the temperature is going to be below freezing, except for folks on the West Coast, where they're going to be dealing with mild temperatures, and as well as much of the South and the Outer Banks. Then we move into Thursday afternoon and into Thursday evening. It's going to get really warm in Florida. Hold on a minute. Alright, I'm back. Anyway, wild, your temperature for the high will be right around, like 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which in other words, it could be like right around, higher than negative 10 degrees Celsius. So let's see. For folks throughout the U.S., there's plenty of mild temperatures to go around, but got to keep in mind about those severe weather. For folks in the South, gotta keep an eye on it. I mean, that we do have some cold temperatures moving into Oklahoma and Florida. And it's gonna be mild, warm, I should say, mild from the Carolinas all the way to Texas. And the buildup of more mild temperatures in parts of the desert Southwest, like Phoenix, LA, San Jose, Medford, Portland, and Seattle. And Chicago, Northern Illinois, Milwaukee, their temperatures will be like near 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And by Friday morning, as we roll into the overnight hours, and then finally into Friday morning, not finally, I should say. Okay, so. While for you, your temperatures will be a little more than negative 10 degrees Celsius, which means a warm up is about to happen. That's going to happen starting late next week and into the weekend. A lot of frigid temperatures, very frigid temperatures, would move into the interior parts of New England and upstate New York. Still below freezing temperatures all across the U.S., though plenty of mild temperatures and warm temperatures in much of the South, parts of the desert Southwest, and the West Coast. And finally, as we move into Friday evening, while it looks like as though your temperature reading would be like a little more than negative 5 degrees Celsius, throughout the rest of the country, there's mild weather. It's starting to slowly creep up in parts of the Great Plains. Plenty of warmth in Florida. And as well as for folks on the West Coast. Let me go back here. Now we're going to bring in the dew point. Wait. Okay, there. While it looks like as though that the dew point value is close to the temperature reading in your area right now, but we're actually going to move forward. Okay, so going into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning, in which while your dew point values be like near the temperature that is going to happen in your area. For folks in the U.S., you know what? Yeah, it's kind of pointless to talk about dew point if it's like that. Yeah, even so, there's plenty of wet weather to deal with in your area